While you keep jerking yourself to sleep, there are other men out there who have a beautiful woman inside out by their side just because they made a decision to figure out how dating actually works. If you are over 30 and you're still single, it's about time that you assume the responsibility for it and that you stop blaming dating in 2025. Modern dating is skewed against us men. Dating apps don't work. The competition is so fierce. You have to understand that the fact that women lose interest in you and they tell you, I didn't really feel the spark, or I'm not ready for a relationship, or I didn't really feel the connection. That's just a sign she lost interest in you because you have blind spots in your communication. You have not dedicated yourself to a 3 to 6 months process of simply weeding out what doesn't belong. There is nothing inherently wrong with you as a man. If you're a kind, good-hearted, intelligent, hard-working man, and you're willing to treat her good, and you're able to provide some sort of stability for her, it's not who you are. It is simply your communication online and in person that's causing her to lose interest in you. Why are you even working so hard in life? You've worked so hard on your career, your business. For what? You don't even have a woman to come home to. Somebody to fall asleep next to wake up next to share and build life with. You see couples walking down the street, she's totally in love with him, and you think to yourself, how did this loser get her? I'm better than him. No, you're not. He approached her. He actually introduced himself. He overcame his fear of rejection when it really mattered. And you didn't. You have not made the decision to introduce yourself when it matters. You have not made the decision to figure out something so benign as online dating. You can actually tap your phone in a certain algorithmic manner and let a woman appear who wants to get to know you. You can't even dedicate 15 minutes a day to a simple app on a phone, type a couple of messages, upload a couple of pictures on yourself, and then meet that person, and then work on your communication skills for a couple hours a week for 4 to 7% of your waking time. Then you deserve to stay single. Then you deserve to keep jerking yourself to sleep. But if you want to build a family or find a woman who is going to get on well with your existing children, if you want to find somebody like that, it's going to require a little bit of work. But if you don't do it, you'll stay alone. You will die alone. You are running out of time. You don't have any more time. Every day you're getting older and older. And this societally driven narrative that all you have to do is just be yourself and the right one will find you eventually is obviously nonsense. Because if that was true, you would already be in a fulfilling relationship. But since you're single, since you've gone through failed relationship, one after another, there's obviously more to the process. And again, it's not even your fault. You simply haven't been shown how to do that properly. That's why I have hundreds of free long-form videos on this channel. I have a Spotify podcast. I have thousands of free short-form videos. If you want to take a shortcut and you want personal help, join the coaching program. Click the link below. Apply for a free initial consultation, and we'll figure out if we want to work with you, if we're able to help you. But it's gonna require you putting your ego aside. You tell yourself, I don't really have problems with women. I'm doing fine. If that was true, you wouldn't be single. If you were actually good at communicating with women, you'd already be in a fulfilling relationship. If you already knew how to communicate in a confident way, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. There's an evident lack of skill between where you want to be, a fulfilling relationship to the right woman, with the right values, the right personality, somebody you're physically attracted to, and where you are right now. One date a month is nothing. One date a month is nothing. How are you supposed to find a woman who matches the standards you want to have with one date a month? If you were going to hire somebody for a position, would you pick the first best candidate? Or would you go through a rigorous evaluation process, screening one candidate after the other. You'd compare them. And in immediate comparison, you would figure out what it is that you actually want. In your business, you've done that. In your career, if you're a manager, you've done that. If you looked for certain jobs, you've compared different employers, hopefully, to pick the one that offers the biggest benefits and career progression and the biggest match between your skill set and what you're looking for. Hopefully you've done that. But when it comes to relationships, you just jump into it way too quickly. You get emotionally attached way too quickly. You overinvest way too quickly. Why? Well, because you're not coming from abundance. You're choosing from scarcity. Let this be your wake-up call. You will never find the right girlfriend or wife if you don't change your approach. I admire your resilience, your discipline. It's fantastic. But if you keep banging your head against the wall with the wrong strategy, all you're going to end up with is a concussion. The wall is not going to break if you don't change your strategy. You need to be intelligent. In so many other areas of your life, you've delivered a very strategic approach. But this, just going to come to me. The right one will eventually find me. No, she won't. Accept where you are right now. Right now, you suck in this particular area. And by the way, we all suck in some areas. I can't bake cakes for shit. We all have areas that we suck. This says nothing about your worth as a man. I should be able to figure this out by myself. Having shame that you want to get help in this area. That's ridiculous. If your knee was broken, would you let your best friend John perform knee surgery on you? No. Why not? Because you would never walk again. Yeah, but David, John has 2 knees. Surely he knows a thing or two about knees. Evidently not. Just because John has had a couple of dates or a couple of relationships, that does not qualify him. You know how people say you shouldn't listen to women for dating advice? Yeah, you shouldn't listen to men either. Most men greatly exaggerate the quality as well as the quantity of women they've been with. They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, this lady, I went on a date with her and it was amazing. David, she's so hot. You look at her and you're like, not my type, at least subjectively speaking. But men have egos, and it's okay. You're allowed to have an ego. But at some point, you have to ask yourself what you want more. Do you want the outcome, or do you want your ego? Do you want to pretend that everything's fine, but keep going on dates and the right women lose interest in you, or you lose interest in them because you don't know how to start conversations in person? You haven't understood online dating? You haven't understood Instagram? Do you want to keep pretending that everything's okay and then make love to yourself at night? Or do you actually want to find somebody who is right for you? You have to make a decision. And the good news is 95% of the work is already done. You've done most of the work already. You've already shaped yourself into being a hardworking, kind, intelligent person. Yeah, IQ is 0.8 genetics. I understand that. You were just lucky with that, I guess. Or by definition, if you're watching this, at least average. You've done most of the work. This is really just about getting more dates and improving your communication skills. Jordan Peterson says, the number one thing a man has to learn is communication skills. If there's one thing that's going to get you anything you desire in life, it's to improve your communication skills. You want to get a promotion at work? Communication skills. You want to get more clients in business? Communication skills. You want to find the right girlfriend, a wife, a woman who truly loves you, that you can make love to, who you don't have to tell that you want to make love, but she wants it herself. She goes to the gym by herself without you having to tell her because she's inherently motivated to take care of herself. Somebody who's just peaceful and happy, you get on well with, you have the same goals for life. It's just communication. And communication with women is very different to communication with men or in a general social context. In a general social context, if you want people to like you, what do? You ask him a bunch of questions. Ask men a lot of questions, and he'll be happy to talk about himself all day. With a woman that does her work, because she'll get bored. Yes, of course, at some point you're going to start asking her questions on the date. But if you don't assume the burden of the conversation on the date, she'll lose interest in you. You have to assume the burden of the conversation at least for the first 5 to 10 minutes of the day until she starts investing in you. And when she starts investing in you, then you can start building on what she gave you, ping pong. But you have to assume the responsibility of being proactive and oversharing in the beginning. Imagine you're walking down the street and a homeless person walks up to you and asks you, "Excuse me, what's your name?" David. "What do you do for work?" "Coaching." "Where do you live?" "Who the fuck are you that I should tell you that?" "Please take my 50 euros, buy a sandwich, let me help you in some way. I do feel compassion for you, but I don't want to give you that information about me. I don't know you." That's the same thing. If you talk to her, "So, where do you come from? What's your job? How old are you? How's work going? Great weather these days." You don't even realize how boring your conversations are. I was in a really nice hotel in Berlin a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sitting there on my laptop, answering client requests, working on some videos in the bar of the hotel. And there's this dude, he looks like a politician, really solid, well put together dude. And he's evidently hitting on the lady who was sitting at the bar, not the woman who was working at the bar, but some woman who was sitting there. And you can tell he's evidently smart and boring as fuck. His conversations were so boring, and he didn't even realize it. He asked her one question after another, fell into her frame, over-justified himself, over-explained himself, laughed when he didn't feel like laughing, did not disagree when he evidently felt like disagreeing, wasn't polarizing, was flatlining, was not giving her compliments. Jesus Christ. A great man who missed out on a fantastic opportunity in that bar to turn it into an instant date, if you will, because it was boring as hell. And then he's going to go to sleep and think about her. Could have been something fantastic. Fall asleep. And the next day he's going to do the same thing all over again until he meets somebody that he's not that compatible with. If you're somebody who's ambitious, if you're doing well in your career, your business, you're an achiever, you're not going to settle for being alone. Something much worse is going to happen to you. You will settle for somebody. A 5 out of 10 relationship. And I'm not just talking about looks. Somebody who you're not truly compatible with. Your values are sort of compatible, but not really. And then you'll have arguments about what school to send the children to. You're not physically attracted to. And you tell yourself, I'm not one of those superficial guys. I love her though. I'm about inner values. And that's nonsense because physical attraction really matters. Then you're making love to her and you're kind of like, nah. And then you're getting passive aggressive or you're getting half depressed and you don't even know what's going on. Well, what's going on is you're in a relationship with somebody that you were never meant to be with. You will settle for something that is going to suck the living soul out of you. I was there with my ex-wife. I married somebody who wasn't right for me. Not a bad person, but we weren't compatible. I didn't learn to communicate my needs. We weren't compatible at all. If I were to meet her right now with my communication skills these days, after having gone through my own transformation and having coached 400 clients-ish from 40 different countries, the conversation with her would last exactly 2 minutes, then she would get offended by my very existence because I'd be polarizingly honest, and then we'd respectfully shake hands and walk separate ways. And I would have saved myself years of suffering. No, I'm not complaining. I'm very grateful that I went through what I went through because otherwise I wouldn't have the passion to help men like you find somebody who's right for them. And I'm not one of those guys who's for men and against women. I'm very much for women as well. I have female clients also. And even if I just work with men, women will benefit as a second order consequence. Because if you're happier and you're more masculine in a kind and caring and good-hearted way, she'll benefit from that because she'll actually stay attracted to you and she won't get a wandering eye and she won't end up hooking up with her colleague or her boss at work. Most men, Henry David Thoreau says, live lives of quiet desperation. They fail not because they aimed too high and missed, but because they aimed too low and hit. If you think about it, you've actually always gotten what you truly pursued. Any goal you've truly pursued, you actually got. So the reason you're still single is purely because you haven't made it a dedicated goal. You haven't made it a dedicated goal and then derived some sort of an action plan to get it. If you were to actually make it a goal for 2025 to find the right girlfriend or wife, maybe you'll find her this year, maybe at the beginning of next year. In the very near future, you will find a woman you're truly compatible with. But don't settle. Don't settle, motherfucker. It's almost worse than being alone. Now, it's also a false dichotomy because guys say, I'd rather be alone than with the wrong woman. Just find somebody who's right for you. We are not meant to be alone. Do you know how much happiness I get from lying on the couch with Fernanda at night, watching Inception, cuddling? She gives me so much happiness, these little in-between meeting cuddles and hugs and kisses. It's actually unbelievable. I posted a picture of myself today on my Instagram story where I was with my ex-wife. How cucked I look. Not in the literal sense, but emotionally speaking, because I didn't communicate my needs. You want to have a relationship on eye level where she can communicate her needs, where you can communicate her needs, where you're free to be yourself, where you're truly in love, she loves you, you fall asleep together. The last thing you see at night is her. The first thing you see when you wake up in the morning is her. You wake up and maybe you're a little bit tired and you kiss her and immediately you're happy and you think, this is what life is about. All the work you've put into your career and your business, you want to share that with somebody who has real appreciation for it. Click the link below. Apply for a free initial consultation.